What's up, guys? Welcome to Box to Box Football, and just want to talk about one of my favorite players, Paul Pogba, and recently what has gone on with him in Manchester United, and also now with France, with his latest injury. So Paul Pogba was just on French duty, was out training and took a shot and just pulled up. And apparently, it was a thigh injury, and he's now going to be out from what 8 to 10 weeks.
8 to 10 weeks.
Eight, eight,
Supposedly, we're
eight.
led to believe it's going to be he's missing 2021, the rest of 2021, and New Year we'll see him.
So basically, by the time he returns, he will be a free agent, and and he will be eligible to talk to any football team because he will be obviously a free agent. So it just begs to differ right now. Is in my eyes, what should Manchester United do right now? Because here's a player that we all know what they invested in at the time. What 94 million? He was the world's most expensive player for a minute. To be fair, he was by far the most expensive in the Premier League till
Right.
Grealish. But his last 5 years, his 5 years in Manchester United, it's just been this long roller coaster ride where he's good one minute, he's bad another. Fans are always divided, and it just begs different. Like, Jack, what do you think Manchester United should do about this Paul Pogba situation? Should you sell him in January and just cash in, or should you wait to the end of the season and offer him a new deal? Where do you think Manchester United should go from here?
They should have sold him 2 years ago. They should have sold him this past summer. And now, yeah, the next best thing I think is going to be selling him in January. But again, James, where we're at now in terms of where we're at in terms of football, and him recovering from this thigh injury, all I'll say, James, right, I'm a little bit, skeptical, a little bit cynical, right, here and there. I'm just saying, you've played pretty high level football for a good chunk of time. I don't know any sort of muscular injury that is 8 to 10 weeks. I know some, you can break some bones that might take that long to heal, but a muscular injury or even a tear, usually even after surgery, especially with modern surgery, you're usually not out that long a period of time. So to me, I think it's incredibly convenient that Manchester United are going through a tough time. Paul Pogba is going to be out and he's going to return just in time to sign pre-contract terms with another football team. So I'm just saying, let's not always believe what we believe. I think it would be very Paul Pogba, very Mino Raiola, very his team to kind of maybe fabricate the injury as a little bit more worse than it is. But no, James, you've got to cut ties. You have to cut ties. And I know that, I'm going to let you say your bit here shortly. But to me, yeah, the experiment has not worked out. Paul Pogba's not matured at all in this 5 year period. It's the exact same character and the exact same personality. And James, I haven't seen any development as a player in the 5 year period either. Manchester United have not had a good return on investment. And yeah, we can talk about him. I think he's tied top for assists at the moment, right? But I'm pretty sure over half of his assists this season have come in one game. So that to me does not say good, consistent, creative football over the course of the season so far. What that says to me is he had a purple patch in one game, and then he's been relatively solid. But I go back to Paul Scholes' comments, and I'll wait to say them later after you say your bit. But Paul Scholes, after the Atalanta game, I think sums Paul Pogba up perfectly. But anyway, back to you.
Paul Pogba's one of my favorite players, Jack. Generally, he's one of my favorite players. Love his style, love the way he plays football. Always been a big fan of the guy, and I've always tried to defend him as much as possible. But when I look at Paul Pogba right now, I don't believe his value is that high anymore.
No, I agree.
I don't
I agree with you.
like before. It would have been before we have this discussion, and I think you get a bunch of Manchester United fans there talk about Paul Pogba, like him or not. They'll be like, "Oh, keep him." We
Better
don't
than
want to
De
sell him. If we're
Bruyne.
gonna, keep. We want to get 100 million. This for that. Jack, forget about the contract right now. Could they even get 60 million for
Oh,
him?
no, no.
If it was, no.
No, but
Like,
James, you make the point. You've already made the point. The contract makes up the amount of money that you invest in a football player. This is something that I've mentioned to you loads of times. If a player's wages and his transfer fee make up 120 million over the course of the whole contract, it doesn't matter whether it's a 10 million pound transfer fee and then 110 million in wages, or whether it's 110 million transfer fee and 10 mil in wages. At the end of the day, you're paying the same amount. And we both know Paul Pogba is going to ask for big money. He's one of the most recognizable stars in the whole sport.
It's true, but the way Paul Pogba was meant to come in was basically what Bruno Fernandes did. What Bruno Fernandes is to Manchester United is what Pogba was meant to be. And unfortunately, it hasn't developed the way, or hasn't worked out the way it should have. You mentioned the word about maturity. Paul Pogba's maturity as a footballer hasn't been there when playing for
Right.
Manchester United, because we still see the same silly mistakes. And I hate to say it because I love Paul Pogba. He's one of my favorite midfielders. I'll Google him and I'll watch all his skills and all that. But as a midfielder, you want your midfielder to be consistent. You don't want to see give him the ball away in critical conditions. And at the age of what, 28, 20, 27, 28, he's doing these type of things. And it just can't work. And especially for a Manchester United team right now that is on their knees, they need a Paul Pogba to rely on. But the fact that they can't rely on him, it's just not going to work. I think the best thing to do at this moment of time is for both teams to cut ties.
Yeah, I
And
agree
if
with you.
Manchester United lose him on a free, they lose him on a free. I don't think that the fan base right now would be sad about it.
No.
Because I believe that right now Manchester United could find one or two midfielders who are better shaped for Man United than Paul Pogba is at this moment.
And James, talk is cheap. Like, let's be clear. And this is something that I think a lot of football fans, especially with access to Twitter and, news online, all sorts of stuff, people see right through comments. If Paul Pogba, loves Manchester United and wants to be here, first of all, he wouldn't have an agent called Mino Raiola, and he would sign a new contract with the football club. I think.
First of all, you could clearly see that he didn't want to sign for Manchester United. The fact that he's running this out. We remember we spoke about this last season, how he was coming into the final year of his deal, and he mentioned that he never wanted to sign for Manchester United. His dream is to go to Real Madrid. And the thing for Paul Pogba is that if he does go to Real Madrid, if he does this, he wouldn't. He was not going to last 6 months out Real Madrid, because if you think Manchester United's bad, just get to Spain with James, that media with a few bad performances.
Real Madrid are planning for it.
Yes.
We've heard the rumors. They want to clear house. Jovic, Hazard. A couple of the midfielders off the books. Isco. Marcelo as well. There's going to be some money available for Haaland, for Mbappe on a free, for Pogba on a free. So let's not rule it out from Real Madrid's point of view. But I just want to get to Paul Scholes' comments real quick. How old is he? 28. He's a really experienced player. He's one of them that will get to 35 and he'll be exactly the same. I agree with Paul Scholes on that. I think he's absolutely right. Still be doing the same stupid stuff where he's stud rolling the ball, holding people off, showing how strong and skillful he is. James, the thing you and I, I'm sure, like most about him is because of that style of football. It's a total control thing. But I think on a week-to-week basis on the football pitch, what does Paul Pogba offer you that's any more than what Moussa Dembele was offering you for Spurs however many years ago? Seriously. I'm not trying to disrespect Paul Pogba, but on the pitch right now, what's the difference between those two players and what they're offering?
First of all, Moussa Dembele was a baller too, so it's not like we're this now.
Right, he was a top player and could have probably played well for maybe anybody. And here's the point that I really want to hit home on, because I totally agree with him here. You think of the Juventus team he played in. He was brilliant. That's why they signed him. Experience around him. Andrea Pirlo, Giorgio Chiellini, Leonardo Bonucci, Gigi Buffon, an aggressive manager. The point being, he's not one of those names. He's not. He does need, as Paul Scholes said earlier in his comments, he does need babysitting. He does. And what are Manchester United supposed to do? Spend another 40 million on another midfielder? You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. They should just cut ties, move on. Maybe Donny van de Beek finally gets his chance.
It feels to me that simple. I feel like Manchester United right now, they need, if Paul Pogba does go, they need two midfielders in there. But I don't think it would be the worst thing ever to revamp that whole midfield, because to me, they get two players who are right in that middle there.
Right,
Jack, it changes the whole ball game.
Oh, for sure.
Paul Pogba, for Paul Pogba, on the other hand, it's the best thing for him because it's always been his dream to play for Real Madrid. He's
Right.
mentioned it on a number of occasions. I made this tweet out of a few months before Camavinga joined. I said Camavinga, Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, and Paul Pogba will all join Real Madrid on a free, or
Yeah.
like for 75 million. I know what's it called again? Haaland's going to cost 75 million.
Yeah.
I said that's going to happen. Mbappe is definitely going to happen. Camavinga already happened. Paul Pogba looks like it's going to happen. All that is going to be in line. But if Paul Pogba continues and like develop the way he is in his club form, not in his country form, in the country form, he is spectacular. But if he continues to do what he's doing, he's gonna have a serious wake up call at Real Madrid because I've
James.
seen players like Luka Modric. Do you know what happened to Luka Modric? He was voted the worst player in like
Hmm.
a top five of the worst signings in Spain
Yeah.
in his first year, and we all know what Luka Modric became at Real Madrid. So they're killers out there too. So I just want him to just fix up his play.
But again, who does Paul Pogba really need next to him? Well, he really needs somebody who will keep him in line, who will, follow a certain example. He probably needs a Roy Keane next to him, or even a Paul Scholes, maybe. But realistically, James, if there's going to be this new look Real Madrid midfield, who do we think is going to be the mature one trying to take charge? Is that going to be Eduardo Camavinga? Or is that going to be Paul Pogba? So it might be a repeat of the same issues that we already have at Manchester United.
Well, whatever's gonna happen, we can't wait to see. Guys,
Yes.
tell me what you think. Man United fans, should you keep? Should you sell Paul Pogba? Paul Pogba fans, please let us know, guys. Comment down below. This is Box to Box Football, and we will see you next time.